By the late 19th century, America had entered a second industrial revolution. As the economy boomed from an expanded market of manufactured goods, new production and transportation methods began to surface. Roadways, steamboats, and even railroads were created during this era of innovation, providing significant opportunities for even the average American. This period of growth never ended, consuming natural resources at an increasing rate and polluting our environments. Today, our current generation is dealing with the aftermath of irresponsible consumption. In light of large corporations using outdated methods and the government's inability to address this issue alone, small businesses could play a critical role of sparking a change in production.
When I was in middle school, I spent a lot of time on the internet. So I think that I've always known that climate change was an issue.
I remember when I first became aware that fashion was really terrible for the environment. I was in middle school or something, and I was like, wow, I love shopping so much and I love fashion, but I'm like becoming aware that fast fashion is so bad for the environment. That was like a really big eye opener for me because there are certain things you see as a consumer of products versus like what goes on in the background.
Like Mia said, you'll know that pollution is a problem. You'll know that waste exists, but you don't really think about how so many things that we buy is what's contributing to the waste. You don't really connect the dots until you're a bit older.
Mona Gems is a small company based out of Brooklyn, New York, founded by Johns Hopkins alumni Mecca McDonald and Mia Dunn. After COVID shut down daily life worldwide, a unique opportunity was presented to the two seniors.
During quarantine, when it first started last year, I was on TikTok and I noticed that resin jewelry making was becoming like a thing. That's so terrible for the earth. And so I wondered if there was a solution that was more sustainable. Like I wondered if it would be possible to do the same thing, but in a way that would create a product when you throw it away will actually decompose.
So we started it through our college kitchens, essentially. We've created this formulation. It looks and feels like traditional resin, but it's made out of a 100% biodegradable plastic material. This is a material that Mecca and I researched the summer before our senior year. It's starch-based, and we've done some biodegradability tests with a third party. Our product will biodegrade in around 3 weeks in a compost facility.
I think a lot of people start businesses just because they want to make money. But if you have a greater intention behind your business, then I definitely think that will help you be more sustainable and just consider how what you're making impacts your own health, and the earth.
Plastic accessories are only a small portion of fashion waste in general, but by people realizing brands like us exist, they're going to be more mindful about making sustainable purchases. That's the main goal. It's just to inspire people to be more aware.
I think a lot of people see it as like this huge term, like sustainability, like how can I be sustainable? They'll see people like me who like are very like activists about it and think that it's not anything they could achieve in their life, but a lot of small things can be done that could make a much larger impact than most people would think.
Bubbly Boba is a small cafe located in Alpharetta, Georgia. The company makes different drinks for people to order with two things in mind:
Sustainability and tea. I worked here as just like a regular part-timer for about a year, and then during COVID we shut down because of the pandemic. When we reopened, I started managing. From sourcing standpoint, we switched all of our teas to this new company, Arbor Teas. They're amazing people. Their teas are organic. They use like sustainable packaging. It's like bioplastic that their tea leaves are shipped in are actually like compostable, so we can take them to get composted at like the school garden. And the teas themselves are fair trade, which means the workers are paid what they should be paid. So I also want to obviously educate people about like human sustainability and environmental sustainability. There's a huge food waste or just trash problem in general. Because we live in America and we have such streamlined waste systems, like many people have never been to a landfill or had to drive by one or really even think about their trash after it goes out to the curb. Here, I was like, okay, every time we throw our trash bag, it gets sent directly to the landfill that's nearest to us. So we now compost everything that could be composted, all of our tea leaves, leftover boba that we have. Also, like if the employees are eating something, then it can go in the compost as well. During the daytime, we started turning off our big shop sign outside. A lot of stores just leave it on during the daytime, even though you can't tell it's on, which is just like wasteful. We have this new faucet. It's like the best investment we've ever made. It's this super high pressure faucet. It's very water efficient and you need like no water to wash the dishes. We also recycle anything we can, including plastic film, like Ziploc bags and things like that. A lot of people don't know can be recycled, but it can actually be taken to the grocery store and recycled. Before, we were kind of just branded as your local bubble tea shop, not really anything like sustainably minded. So it's been kind of weird for customers, I think, seeing us switch over to like a much more environmental branding. But I think most people are happy with it. Like, they like to know that we're reducing our waste and their tea they're drinking is fair trade and stuff like that. So Bubbly Boba is not a huge business. It's really just about being aware of like your smaller actions, notice what you're wasting and how you can stop wasting it.
How to create change on a large scale is by messaging. It's by getting word out. It's by talking about the climate, talking about the impact of carbon in the atmosphere, talking about global warming, but in a positive way. Jelinek Cork Group was founded in the mid-1800s in what is today the Czech Republic. My grandfather of 5 generations ago imported cork from Portugal and Spain, which were big cork growing regions, and brought them to the Czech Republic as the cork stopper that would go in wooden beer barrels. So that's how it began. It has evolved many times since then, moving from the wooden barrels to the wine industry and stoppers for wines to what we have today, which is cork for a whole assortment of things ranging from fishing rod handles to insulation inside not only homes, but also the space shuttle was insulated with cork. The center core of baseballs use cork. Gaskets for the automotive industry. The list goes on and on. In fact, I often say that in any room you will find cork. A climate positive material is a material that sequesters more carbon from the atmosphere than used both in its production and its transportation. So that material has actually removed carbon from the atmosphere, and that's asking a lot of a material. There are very few materials that are able to do that. Cork is one of those. Cork is the bark of a tree. It's a type of oak tree, very similar to the oaks that we find throughout North America. Bark of these trees is removed from the tree entirely around the circumference. That process doesn't harm the tree in any way. That means is the trees are sequestering carbon dioxide, generating oxygen, and creating a habitat for plant and animal life. Jelinek Cork was traditionally a wholesale company, and we said, you know, we're doing something right. We're promoting cork, but that's not enough. We have to get the message out there and let people know here is a material that can make a difference. What we did with Cork House is we took the ideas of cork being a climate positive material and we took sustainable lifestyle and we've tried to translate that into a physical space. In addition to take the messaging that we were doing behind the scenes and put it out there. Let people know that as a business, as an individual, we're making changes and you can make those changes too.
Mona Gems, Bubbly Boba, Cork House, and numerous other small businesses have made a significant effort to better conserve our environment. All of these companies have put in their best effort to sustain our Earth, proving that small businesses can be environmentally friendly and profitable at the same time.